Hey, happy day 12. Let's do a little restorative flow for the hips. We'll get into some, potentially deeper positions, so I'll give you some options along the way. And you might want a blanket, as a lift. But otherwise, we'll come and lie down. And as you come and lie down, let your knees lean against each other if that's comfortable. Maybe one hand on your belly, one hand on your low ribs. And just take a couple rounds of breath here. And then stabilize your core, hug your knees into your chest, and feel your lower back really round into the floor, your tailbone lift. Take a round of breath. And then see if you can keep your knees in this close as you let go. And just reach your hands out along the length of your legs. If it's okay for your neck, tuck your chin in towards your throat and curl up into a little ball. So we're just trying to kind of curl ourselves as tight as possible. And then you can lift your arms up and over so you're reaching to the left side of your legs. And you're hugging your knees still in close to your body. And then arms up and over to the right. And then coming back to center, you can hold on behind your thighs or your knees, your shins, and lay your head back down. And from this rocked position of your knees in towards your chest, you can let your knees drift away. So just bending and straightening the elbows a few times. And then you can take it into a little bit more of a rocking motion where you tuck your chin in towards your throat and roll up and down. Good. One more maybe like that. And then coming up, use your hands for a little help as you need. Round your torso over your legs, maybe cross your arms and use your arms as a pillow for your forehead. Take a round of breath. And then coming up, your hands on your shins. Try to reach your breastbone forward, come into a back bend now, just as best you can in this position. Squeezing your shoulder blades together, and then round your spine back. And do that one more time. Arching your spine, breastbone pushing forward, and then rounding your spine back. And then we'll come to an upright position. Reach your hands forward or hold behind your knees for more support and curl down. And try to just see if you can set your vertebra down bone by bone as you come and lie back down. Good. Hug your knees into your chest again. And take a round of breath. And then go ahead and set your feet down. And from here, you'll push into your feet and lengthen your tailbone towards the bottom of your mat and then bridge up and just go for a little stability at the back of the hips, length at the front of your hips. And then rolling down, tuck your chin in towards your throat and just reach forward, doing a little bit of a sit-up. You can use your hands behind your head if you prefer. And then laying back down, bridge up, and even reach your arms up overhead, just so, to frame your face while you're in bridge pose. And then as you roll down, you can reach forward and curl your head and shoulders up off the floor. So it becomes this little, teeter-totter action of maintaining some movement along the spine, throughout the whole pattern. Oops, I'm traveling a little bit, so you might need to move your feet. Let's do just one more of those, bridging as your arms reach overhead. And then as your pelvis lands, you curl your upper back up off the floor. And then let's lay back down. Okay, adjust on your mat as you need. And then one more time, we'll do our rocking and rolling. So from here, you're holding onto your knees and then you're letting your elbows bend and straighten. And then you can take it a little further, tucking your chin in, even like kind of lifting your knees up over your face to lift the pelvis off. So we're just taking lots of different ways of warming up our spine. Also just gives you more perception of your spine. And then we'll come all the way up. Good. From here, take your hands behind you so they can support you. Feet walk wide apart. And then you'll tip both of your knees over to the left. And then this is where you'll decide if you're leaning way out to the left, you might want to sit on some height. And we're starting to work ourselves more upright in this position. It's a big ask of our hip rotation. So, you know, if outer hip stretch, your figure 4 is challenging for you, definitely add some height here as you need. And then just seeing if you can use your hands for a lot of support, you start to tip your pelvis out over your front leg, walking your hands forward. And then take a couple cat-cows in this position. Go slow. And then staying a little bit in the back bend, seeing just how much you can lengthen your breastbone as if you were trying to stretch your breastbone out past your left knee. Going for the stretch in your back left hip. And then start to make the left leg heavy. And maybe the left shin so heavy you could float your arms out without changing shapes like airplane wings. And then just go for a couple rotations at your shoulders. Good, and then drive the shin heavy to upright yourself. Hands can come down, lift your right knee, and then the left knee will follow, and you're tipping your knees over to the right. And then again, just seeing how far you can upright your spine. The hips can be quite asymmetrical, so feel free to use a prop if you need it on this side. And from here, just trying to turn and face your right shin, tipping over your right shin as much as feels good to you. And it's good to initiate this from the pelvis rather than the lower back. And then we are going to play with a little bit of our spinal flexion as you round your spine back, spinal extension, as you swing your tailbone back and bring your breastbone forward. And just doing that maybe 2 more times. And just feeling how this changes the line of tension on your outer hip muscles. And then staying in that little bit of a back bend position, reaching your tailbone back behind you, lift your chest, go for a good stretch at your right hip. And then make your right shin heavy, reach the arms out wide like airplane wings. And then we're just going for a little bit of that rotation. So external rotation, palms lift up to the ceiling. Internal rotation, palms look back behind you, and maybe again all the way up to the ceiling. And just going for a little bit of capsule rotation while we're here. And then the right shin drives heavy to upright, and we'll come all the way back. From here, we'll lift the left knee, and then just see how wide apart your feet and your knees can go with your hands behind you. Option to walk your hands to your legs, your ankles, say. And then use your hands just to help upright your spine. And go for a stretch at your inner thighs. And then from here, start to push your knees into your elbows. So my elbows are a little bent, pushing back against my knees. So we go for strength in the lengthened position. Keep resisting, another breath. Get everything involved around the hips, stable core. And then go for the opposite. Could you pull your knees a little bit away from your elbows and go for a deeper stretch? Good. And then relax the effort. As you're ready, we'll bring the feet back together. And let's come for Navasana. So holding on behind your thighs, puff up the chest. You'll tip a little bit back. Maybe the toes are tented on the ground or can float up. Maybe the hands come and reach out. And then Ardha Navasana, we roll down onto the low back. Maybe the legs extend forward. Your hands can interlace behind your head and your elbows kind of reach out towards your toes. Make the lower back heavy on the floor, even if you have to lift your legs or bend your knees. And then we will release. Knees bend, head rests on the floor. And come back to your start position. So maybe the knees bent, leaning against each other. or option to extend your legs out straight and going from a moment of effort to now a moment of ease. Noticing if you can lengthen out your breathing and let your body enjoy the support of the floor. Good. Okay. Thank you so much for joining in today. If you have some time, feel free to keep rolling around on the floor, do some twists. And then otherwise, you did it. You got on your mat today. All right.